What's happening, everyone? We're back in the throne today. Just throwing it back, doing a throwback to. Oh, Richard, what have you done to us? What have you done to us with not launching when we want you to launch? I don't. I'm speechless. Actually, I'm speechless. I think that, I don't know how much longer I can do this if he's not going to launch when we think he should launch, because they say the wisdom of the crowd is the best wisdom. That's what they say. Instead of a billionaire genius who knows exactly what to do, when to do it, and has already made all his money and trying to get us all rich. We definitely shouldn't listen to that guy or just be sad, right? He's only streaming every day because he knows PulseChain's never going to launch. That's what I got to say about that. Anyways, welcome to the Cope channel, which today, bring all your validator questions here to die, because no matter what happens, we're going to keep going on. I said I'm going to, again, if we don't launch by like the end of May, I may not be streaming every day. However, I'm going to try my best to do it, and sometimes twice a day. No promises on that. No promises on anything, actually. I could just not want to stream one day. That's totally okay. However, why wouldn't I? Why not? It's cool. I like PulseChain. I like its promise. I like the community, and good times. Yeah, I think it's one of those things. It's like the phrase comes to mind: if you can't handle it and it's bad times, you don't deserve its best times. I can kind of say that about America too. It's like, I've said before, America's got the best of everything and the worst of everything. And, if you're like, oh, I'm going to move because a certain president gets elected, or, I can't stand all this, XYZ current thing. You gotta, that's part of the deal, part of the package. So anyways, Hex Hoddle says it's good. What's happening, man? Good to see you. Red Squirrel, oi, oi. Hope you're sleeping well tonight, sir. Hope you're sleeping well. It's like, no one ever knew the Red Squirrel shows up for the algos and it's actually his bedtime, they'd be like, why are you always telling him to go to sleep? But that's why, because it's late his time and he just shows up because he likes me. So appreciate that. Yeah, it's all good. Actually, it's so good that I committed a new script today. So I'm going to show you. I closed a new ticket from a gentleman called DKIM777, where we had a conversation about copying the blockchain. And it's actually really, really good idea. It gave me some motivation. We went back and forth a little bit. It took forever to test it because it literally takes like a day, or maybe I didn't put that in the README. I should put that in the guidance too, of like how long it takes to actually, even on I guess on the minimum spec requirements, even on my validator server, it took like over a day to do it, which is a long time to just compress a file. And that's kind of the best case. So anyways, this is the new script. This is the commit for the new script. And you essentially, you run it. And then after you run it, it will take your get data and your beacon data from Lighthouse, and it will compress it into these files. And then once it's compressed, you can take it and put it where you want. You can copy it to another server using SEP. And let me show you the guidance I added for it. So it's under the snapshot helper script. So yeah, it's kind of like a zip. If you don't know what tar and XC files are, just think of them as compressed files, just like zip files. You put a bunch of files into one file, and then you can compress it, decompress it, zip it, unzip it. It's just another format. It's just a more efficient format that I chose to use for this. And so you take it. So once you run the script, you copy it to where it needs to be. This is just an example of using SEP to do it over the network. And this would copy the geth data to the home folder. And again, change this to your IP address for the validator you want to copy it to, obviously where you want to copy it to, the home folder for Ubuntu or otherwise. And then once it's there, uncompress it, which could take a while. Actually, I even had to try to uncompress the geth one. The geth one's pretty big. It's like Yeah, I should add that to the, let me make a note to add that to the README because that's useful information. So the get file is what, like 120 gigs or something like that. Which when you transfer it over the network, it's going to take no time. However, if you are compressing it, it takes a while, at least on my server. It took like a day. Added that. So you decompress it, and then you change the mode to where you're going to be copying it. And with the owner, so this is the user running the clients. And then you move. Oop, did I not put? Ah, I messed that up. I got to fix that too. So move data. So data is the, where's the script? One sec. Should probably put links to all this stuff, but I don't feel like updating it right now. Yeah, so data is the Geth folder. And then this is confusing. It's within data and beacon within the data folder within Lighthouse for the Lighthouse. So that should be copy beacon to that folder. Yeah, I'll fix that typo as well. Cool. And then once you copy it there, that is like your bootstrap. That's, in theory, that's how it works. I actually haven't tested this fully, but yeah. Let me know if you try and it doesn't work. It should work in theory. On testnet now, on mainnet, it may not work. I've heard that, yeah, because the chains are different. Again, all this stuff. That's the funny thing when you ask these questions. A lot of stuff people haven't did yet, and a lot of it's just theory. That's why I try to write scripts to actually test this stuff and like go through the full cycle. So I don't know. Anyways, that's my shot at a snapshot script. It will take the snapshot, and you should be able to load it there. Maybe I'll spin up a server and try that. Yeah, I'll add that note too. Actually, copy the snapshot and load in new server. It'd be interesting to see. I'll be interested if it didn't work because it makes sense that it would work, right? Anyways, there's a snapshot script. So that's a new thing in the repo. Feel free to try that out. And yeah, I'll go back to the chat, talk to you guys for a minute and get those questions. Yesterday, I didn't have much time. I only had about 30 minutes. I had a ton of questions. So I've got at least 30 minutes today from now. So let's get those. Get any questions? Good morning, Hexon. Good morning. Manny says it's a good time for Europeans like me. Welcome, Manny. It is. Tis can be a good time depending on what you do throughout your day. Rob Dodson, playoffs not once in the May Hex be 2 cents. You say it like it's a bad thing. I'm not so sure it's a bad thing. I'm not of the mindset that Hex always need to be price go up. I think there's opportunities when price go down or go up. So whether it goes to penny and it doesn't launch until July, I'm playing the game of putting myself in the best position, take advantage of opportunities. So maybe you're saying that in a positive note. I don't know, but yeah, I think that's the more healthy way of thinking about it. That's what I think about it, at least. There you go. Hexodl says that. Blue Bum will down. Man, I haven't seen Blue Bum for a while. I need to. That's who I was going to invite too. Let me invite him to the next open mic. I'm just going to do like housekeeping stuff while I'm on stream right now. So hopefully he's doing okay. Hopefully the kids are staying quiet over there in the cabana town that he was in. And it's been a while since we had that. Masked in nature, purposely delaying. What if he is? Let's play that out. What if he is? Then what? If he was purposely delaying, wouldn't that be a good thing? Wouldn't that mean that this is not the best time, so he's delaying it to be a better time? Don't you want it to launch at the best time? That's the thing. I'm not talking about you in particular. I'm just talking about this comment that is very popular right now, when things haven't launched. And it's like, it'll launch when the billionaire genius guy says it's going to launch. And if it's not during the time that you think it's best, perhaps it's a deficiency in you and your thinking rather than him wronging people, right? And again, I'm just talking about this comment in general, not you, Master Nature. I'm sure you're fine. But just this whole feeling of just launch it already. It doesn't make any sense to me. I want it to launch just as much as anyone else, but I don't have an emotional response every day that it doesn't launch. I think that's the difference. So, Hex Crystal Meth. Always good to see Crystal Meth in the chat. Is it possible the high fees on ETH are delaying the launch? They had to, actually I thought about that yesterday. I was like, this is, one side could say, wow, PulseChain launch right now. You could just tell everyone on ETH that they could just come to PulseChain and actually get their transactions through, but they wouldn't be doing any transactions for what they actually want to do in ETH, right? Unless they happen to be using Hex or happen to be using some product that is the community is just bum rushed and just all of a sudden start putting value into. So I don't even think that would be a good play. It sounds good in theory. It sounds like a cool meme, but I don't actually think that would play out very well. Like, it wouldn't be the ROI that you would want or you expect to have. And then the other side is not launching right now because the ETH fees are so high, because I don't know what transactions, what things would the dev team need to use Ethereum for that would be critical in PulseChain? I guess that's the question. If you come up with a list of those things, then you would be like, okay, do we want to pay $1 million for all these transactions? Or I'm just thinking here. So I think there's, again, looking at both sides. Yeah, I'm desperate to get off ETH, man. Like, it's been a while. By the way, welcome Astro369. It's been a while since I've been like, I don't want to use Ethereum anymore. It's kind of part of our daily lives. Until PulseChain launches, we use Ethereum, right? But the last couple of days, I'm like, dude, I'm not paying $200 for a transaction just to start a stake or do other stuff. So it's there is some sadness and keep hitting reject every time I see the fees. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. So, but on the other side, I was also thinking this morning, how much bank are the validators making right now? Let's take this back to PulseChain Validator stream. Imagine if there's high fees on PulseChain during times of, Pepe or otherwise. Being a validator seems a little bit more attractive, doesn't it? During these times of network usage go up for days and days and days on end. The Chad has arrived. He likes them streaming every day, I have a feeling, because he shows up to most of them. So yes, hello to our other fellow Chads as well. Good to see you, sir. Manny, I think about to use a router VPN for additional security layer. You never know who will hunt down validators future. What do you think? I'm not concerned about the government hunting down validators, at least if you live in a country with rule of law, and I think that's less likely in the Western world, for a lot of reasons. Use a router VPN for additional security layer. Again, so what does VPN do? You connect to another network. I've heard of people say, okay, you can use a VPN on a internal. I'm trying to steel man the case for using. Is there any possible way it makes sense to use a VPN with a validator? If you put that server on a VPN on your internal network, I think there's some Didn't I just add some information to the wiki about this? I think I did. Yeah, I think I updated the security section with some stuff. I was researching this. Yeah, I was researching this yesterday. Drop this in this chat. Researching this yesterday, and there's different ways. So there's like cascading routers type of thing. Again, I think the simplest thing for people to do is just add another router to your network, give it access to the internet, and only plug your validator into that. So it's physically separated. You can use virtual LANs, you can use different stuff like that. You can use guest networks if you're, that's kind of like a Wi-Fi thing though, unless you literally have a guest port that you can configure on the router. Maybe that's the thing too. I never did that before. But the ideal is you don't want, okay, let me back up. The game is to keep attackers off your network. Okay. The security game of validators, the game of security in life is to keep anyone who is not you and people you allow off of your network. So if you're just, oh, I'm just going to browse the internet, cool, I'm going to do this stuff, cool. You're not opening any ports on your router. You're not letting people connect to, your machine. If you're not actively forwarding ports on your router to do a validator, chances are you have no open ports on your router. You shouldn't, to let any traffic come in, and you only have egress traffic of you browsing the web. That is kind of a natural security barrier. It's great. It didn't used to be that way. Before NAT and all these, before routers were popular and you just plug your computer into the modem, things were different. That was 20 years ago. I was around back then. I knew security for a long time. These days, you have a browser, you're on the internet. You don't have to worry about people connecting to your server directly or your computer directly, whatever. Now, what you're doing now, and of course, I got all kinds of security videos. Don't use Windows, use Mac. Keep your browser up to date. All this stuff. VPNs are for privacy, not security. I have a ton of content on this already. Just search RHMax VPN if you want to hear my VPN rants of how they're misused. You want to ask a specific question, I'll talk about it, but I'm just going to leave that there. So once you become a validator, I'm talking about at home. So if you do it in AWS, you do it in the cloud, otherwise you're not using your home network. You're already using a separate network. It's somewhere else. They take care of it. You still control security, but them hacking your validator in the cloud is not directly going to let them have access to your home network. So if you're going to open ports on your router to allow people to connect to your home network, great for decentralization, perfect. But there is a trade-off. The trade-off is if there's some kind of security bug in clients or in remote management, you don't configure it correctly, whatever it is, if there's some kind of security bug and the attacker gets on the validator and you haven't separated it at home, you haven't used another router, you haven't used a VLAN, blah, blah, blah. Once they get on the internal network, there are a ton of attacks that open up where they could go from there. You got the server, you're at home, you got it plugged in, you get hacked. They could start trying to compromise your home computer, your tablets, your phones, all this stuff, depending on what kind of exploits they have. That's just how it works. So that's the trade-off. Decentralization, running a validator at home, great. There's a security trade-off. You now need to take extra care because if they get on your validator, that means they get access to your internal network if you haven't isolated it. Now, easy thing to do, isolate it, right? So that's what I have the material here for. And so I highly recommend watching the Validator AMA. I'll talk about a lot of stuff in there. And then these references for how to do isolation in a lot of different ways at home. The security model is different at home versus in the cloud. So be aware of that if you're running them at home. No, absolutely nothing wrong with running them at home. Just be aware of the security. You're more it's more important at home. I'll say it like that. So let me know if y'all have any questions on that before I move on. Where's the stream here, Unlock? We can have a conspiracy chat. This is Validator AMA, however, unplugged dad. There's open mic coming on April 15th, or sorry, May 15th. So feel free to, there will be a StreamYard around for that one, at least. Conspiracy chat. No shortage of conspiracies, that's true. That's what I mean using additional router. So, but why do you need VPN enabled? I don't know what a VPN has to do with using the other router, because again, with a VPN, you're just connecting to another network. So why do you need to connect to another network to be a validator? You just need to connect to the internet. What is the VPN doing for you at that point? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like the second router, you don't need VPN enabled. You just plug it in. Like a lot of people do that. They work from home. They don't want work. If there's any like backdoors on their work computer or whatever, they plug their work computer into the other router, give it access to the internet. IoT devices, very popular for that. If you got some refrigerator or thermostat or whatever, and you want to connect it to your guest network or the other router for even better isolation, because what if they get hacked? And then again, you get access to your internal network. That's what we're trying to avoid. The game is keep them off of your network. And if you can do that by putting them on a completely different network, such as a cloud or some VPS data center or whatever, that's one way. Or if you can isolate your network to, at home to what you plug into it, server on one side, everything else on another router, then that's how you do it. Hex Fetty, high fees may be 50x, 100x, fraction of penny is still like 90% badness. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, people complain about like $1 PulseChain transactional testnet the other day. I'm like, it's $150 on Ethereum right now. I really don't care if PulseChain fees get to $1. First of all, validators make more money. And second of all, like we're still beating Ethereum to pieces. So cool with that. The chat approves more. Yeah, I appreciate that. If I don't know. Some people get, again, I've never, I guess I've streamed up for like a week straight and stuff before, but I haven't did any solo streams. I've been doing a lot of solo streams, which are pretty liberating because I don't have to coordinate with other people. I can do them just when I have free time. I have a chunk of free time. Okay, I could stream for a half hour. So they're pretty liberating. But you can't really do it until you have a lot of followers or a lot of subs, because people just won't show up. So you kind of got to wait till you get a few thousand, and then you find gentlemen show up, and you got to talk about interesting stuff, which I'm trying to help people with validators and talk about PulseChain topics. So seems to be interesting stuff. People sell too early, hand shuffle, and wonder how they got hexed above $1. Yeah. When the $1 prophecy is fulfilled, when and if it's fulfilled, it's gonna be a glorious day. I may just buy myself a birthday cake. We'll see. I like to buy myself presents when good things happen. Sometimes other people buy me presents too, but nothing else. I know how to enjoy myself. We'll say that. I'm secure in that fashion. Who's the best female hex promoter? I don't know. There's a lot of very popular female promoters and creators and stuff. A wild SJ. We share the Scivive in common. So I always like talking to her and love the work she's doing. But there's a lot of good ones out there. I hope to see more people at meetups and PulseChain tours coming to this area in June, so that'll be fun. Advantage of your router VPN. ISP cannot see you're using validator. Router VPN cannot see you're using a validator. I guess, but again, okay, so I guess that is a privacy use case. But I'm just like, I don't think we're anywhere near I don't know what country you're from. Did you say Europe earlier? Maybe. As an American, I don't have no concerns over the government coming from a validator. So I haven't even, I guess. But if they do that, I mean, they're going to have people who are, the government has plenty of good people at technology. So they're going to, we've seen the Great Wall of China. You can use a VPN, but there's ways to tell if you're using VPN too, and try to filter some of that stuff. So if it gets to that point, I don't think hiding your validators are going to be like a thing. It's going to be, you're going to be like trading. You may be buying actual physical gold at that point, because the internet doesn't work. I guess if Starlink becomes super prevalent, we won't have to worry about landlines as much as far as internet goes, but the internet has to work for transactions to broadcast at this point. I know there's technology working on that, but as of today, that's what we're talking about. We want $1 Pulse transactions. As a validator, I'm okay with that. And as a user, it's not $150, so I'm also okay with that. I don't mind paying $5 for transactions. Like, is that crazy to say? Like, are we just so mesmerized by the meme of like fraction of a penny transactions that's what we expect now? I don't know. I'm just like, it'd be nice if they were just a fraction of what the cost of transaction stuff was, but I don't know if they're a quarter, if they're a penny. It'd be cool if they're a penny for a while, for the first couple of years. It'd be great for onboarding, right? I'm okay if it gets more expensive. Just not if it gets to be like $20. All right, come on, that's a little. But if it gets to be $20, then I think we may all be rich at that point. So maybe everyone complaining now is going to be like, it's actually, it's a fraction of my net worth, fraction of a fraction of a fraction of my net worth. So it's probably okay. There you go. Yeah, SJ. You got Fashion Coder. You got all the promoters doing all the PulseChain stuff right now. So, anyways, I got some questions. I went over the stand-up snapshot script. Talked about security. It was actually a pretty good conversation on that kind of importance. Get your questions in, because I don't have a big agenda other than those couple things. Let's see. Look at my Twitter for a minute. Hey, that's cool. 4K. Yeah, I posted this right before stream. Life is better without expectations. If you have expectations, you know where you went wrong. Hex.com. This was a funny video. Recommend. Yeah, T-Bird reposted this. It's been a while. Super funny. One of the best like full video memes I've ever seen. Yeah, also congrats on, so this tweet, we'll talk about this for a moment, up around 900,000 validators from a week ago. I could tell, man, there's a lot of people on the Telegram, a lot of people talking about being a validator, a lot of questions, people coming to this AMA, of course, as well. So give yourself a hand. Like, if you're set up a validator, congrats. If you're struggling, I hope we can help you with all the guidance and scripts and Telegram channels and people asking questions and stuff. So pretty cool. Eric Greenhouse, welcome back, sir. Will the cost of being a validator go down from 32 million Pulse as the price value goes up? No, it will always be 32 million. As far as unless we have, a fork. Pretty sure that's one of the forkable parameters, but that's what would need to happen. But it will be 32 million. The contract should enforce 32 million. So actually, you raise a good point. Being a validator early when the price is low. Okay, here we go. Here's something for you. If you believe there will be a dump at some point for PLS and you want to stack those validator numbers up, right? Instead of maybe you only stacked, so much and you got enough for 5 validators. However, you want to run 10 or 20 validators. If there is a dump and you pick it up for cheap, now you got the validators running and you're earning it. And, you wait a year or two, if the price goes up, it's a lot cheaper. So And then the people in a couple years from now, if the price goes up, it's going to be much more expensive to be a validator. So getting in early as a validator, there's so many advantages. So many. You get in before the APY goes down, because more people get in, the APY goes down. You get a bigger share of the pool. The more validators you have, the more APY you're going to get too. It's just great. So great question. You made me think of something that I hadn't even spoke about before. So yes, 32 million. Unplugged Dad. Do you have any validator questions, Unplugged Dad? How many impressions do you get in Twitter past 28 days? I don't know. I can't click analytics, so I'm not signed in here. I don't really look at the impressions very much, but I know the YouTube channel should be well over 1 million now, which also surprised me because I never really look at the views much. So pretty cool. But you can, if you go to Twitter analytics, you can see your most popular tweets, how many impressions, how many, over time. But I don't look at it very often, but it's pretty cool. I miss any questions? I think I got them all. Is this the hopium stream you all are looking for? I'm telling you, this stuff doesn't bother me. Every day it doesn't launch, it doesn't make me any more sad. I feel for the people who are sad over it, but I'm like, know the game you're playing, right? You have no control over when it launches. So when it launches, everyone's going to forget all about this, okay? 30 days after launch, no one will even remember all the crazy bad stuff they said about the devs, about Richard. Nobody will even remember. They won't want to remember because, it won't be relevant anymore, right? So, you know what time it is? Money printer o'clock. Yeah, I have a feeling I'm going to be get into 15 of these, because basically when I have free time, I'm just going to do validator AMAs or PulseChain launch plan discussion, which has been pretty popular as well. I got a few streams. I got Axis and Juyun coming on tomorrow. So I got some guest streams this week too. I kind of forgot. I've been doing so many solo streams. I'm like, who do I have coming on tomorrow? I don't remember. So I got Axis, and then I got cryptographics coming back from Mad Gains Mindset on Wednesday. So that should be great. Make sure you tune into that. Basically, continuation of the winner circle conversation. There's a lot of stuff we didn't cover in that, so that'll be good. Yeah, the fees are so bad right now. The Tetra airdrop was supposed to happen on May 4th, and it couldn't even happen because it was so bad then. And then May 5th, they're going to try to do it again, and the fees were just insane. I think they're working on some other way of doing it. So yeah, there you go. Choose a non-emotional response to any given situation and see how much easier life becomes. True that, Naval. True that, sir. There's a reason Naval is in my headline. One of my favorite people in this world to learn from. There's only 2 people in my headline, Naval and Richard, who just unsubbed. Well, welcome back someday, maybe. Welcome back. Anyways, any other questions? And then, yes, sir. I don't know how else to do it. I try my best to be objective and to talk about things I believe in and not BS anyone. Let's see. If you wanted to hook up your validator to an elephant in the state of Washington, where would the validator be located? Are you trying to speak in code about the elephant thing? I don't know what the reference is. Did I miss something on the news recently? I don't watch the news, so I probably did. I mean, pretty sure they got him downtown, so I guess it would be in that district. I don't know. Manny, only validators be allowed to enter Richard's yacht. That's so. I like these kind of comments because you can go in different directions. So it would be cool if there were certain parties, you get if you're a validator, you get an NFT ticket or something that gets you into different parties later on. Get you in the museum, maybe the Richard Museum, whenever that happens. You get free admission validators and other people, who contributed, or are contributing to the community. maybe there's a coin. I joked with Gamma on one of the tweets. I was like, when POS coin dev, like proof of, what was that for? He said proof of, obviously not proof of stake, but it was proof of, I don't remember what it was, but it was like a validator coin. So anyways, yeah, if it's bothering you, you can always just not get on it. You can delete the app on your phone. You can remove it from your home screen. You can lock your phone. Buy one of those lock boxes on Amazon. It's got a timer on it. While we're here, why not? Let's do Amazon timer lock box. You can do this with your cold storage wallets or anything you want. Yeah, get one of these time lock boxes and just like put your phone in there, like one of these. You can set it for a few days from now or something, or a few hours where you literally can't open it. You just need something to hold yourself, like to stop your temptation and make it hard enough that you won't. Of course, you can break it or whatever, but give yourself a barrier that you need to overcome. That's the key. Like de-incentivize you to do it. If you break it, it's $40 going down the drain, for example. So feel free to do that with social media stuff. Hit it out of the park with these questions, Unplug. Or should I call you Dad? Do you guys believe we're on the moon? I'm going to give the Richard answer to this. I don't think it's important. I don't think it's important. Are there aliens? I don't think it's important. Doesn't affect me. Are we in a simulation? Not important. Cannot help me knowing the truth of that. Cannot help me. Because imagine if you thought you were in a simulation, then you would just be like depressed, right? Or you try to break out, people think you're nuts, lose all your social connections. There's no benefit in thinking that. So if you want to have a productive life and not drive yourself, unhappy, then these are not important questions. That's my answer. Eric Greenhouse, can you go over the Tetra airdrop again? Sakurai seems to claim. I'm not sure I ever went over it technically, but what is it? It's a Tetra.win. So I believe if you sacked for PulseChain and PulseX, you can claim it. Let's see, airdrop claim. See, I can't even click it anymore. So they must have probably removed. Yeah, probably removed information on it. So, oh no, none of these are clickable. What's going on? Why can't I click? Refresh. Why can't I click? All right, it's not working for some reason. Anyways, yeah, it's but that's over. So the claim was only for a few days, I believe. So you can't claim anymore. But it's running on the market. It's on Deck Screener. So if you go to Tetra, yeah, so it's trading. Come on, Deck Screener. Yeah, it's trading right now. So you got to use the LUSD pair though. Yeah, see, there's no history either because they did a token swap and stuff. So anyways, that's all I think I got on that. Anyways, no other questions. All right, I'll give you all like 2 minutes. If any other questions about validators or PulseChain, put them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to call it at 42 minutes unless you guys got any more questions. Really, everyone's got their validator running now? Is it mission accomplished? Because the joke is your validator running? I was playing on it's your refrigerator running. You better go catch it. So they say if you have to explain the joke, it's not fun anymore, but I'll leave it at that. It was kind of one of those, they call it dad jokes. Dad joke or, they're corny jokes, I guess you would say. All right, if nothing else, maybe Manny's right one day. You never know. I'm going to call it at that, everyone. Have a good rest of your day. Check me out on Twitter. I tweet sometimes. And will I stream again today? Who knows? Who knows? If I feel like it, I will. If not, I won't. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. PulseChain will come when it's ready. Don't worry about it. And nice. That is running a treadmill. Thank you. Thank you for the support for that joke. It'll always be funny. Nice, Antonio. Appreciate that. Have a good rest of your weekend, everyone. 5-5 and 5-5-5-5. We are out.